The dim light of the preparation chamber was alive with tension as Drengr, Sasha, and Stray Dog steeled themselves for the coming journey to the High Spire. Their goal? To unite with their comrades and put an end to the menace that was Dragotha. Sasha, her fingers tracing patterns in the air, hesitated, her voice a murmur.
You should know, the Spire and we have a past. I might have bent some rules during my time there.
Nino, ever the opportunist, stepped forward, a sly grin playing on his lips. "Why land directly in the hornet's nest when you can land beside it?" he proposed, suggesting a modification to the teleportation circle. It would divert them slightly from their intended destination, and therefore from the prying eyes in the High Spire's teleportation hall. A collective nod of agreement passed between the trio. Nino began chanting, weaving the intricate patterns of the teleportation spell. But as the world around the heroes started to blur and fade, Nino's expression shifted from confidence to panic. The arcane weave slipped through his fingers, warping the magic in unpredictable ways. Suddenly, the heroes found themselves gasping in the cold, thin air, the world below them stretching out in a vast panorama. A dizzying drop awaited them as they realized they were hurtling downwards from a height of 2 miles. The sprawling sea beneath them glinted menacingly, its waves eagerly anticipating their crash. The outline of a city and its adjacent marshlands became more discernible as they drew closer at breakneck speed. Summoning every ounce of her magical prowess, Sasha's eyes sparkled with urgency. The plummeting trio felt an unseen force wrap around them, slowing their descent as wings of arcane energy sprouted from their backs. They managed to arrest their fall just above the marshes, hovering, catching their breath. The sound of combat grew fainter as our heroes raced across the marshy expanse, but by the time they reached the heart of the conflict, the clash had settled. The muddy ground bore the scars of battle, and at its center stood 3 familiar battered figures, Fainlin, Illican, and Aurora. Their expressions were a mix of relief and weariness upon seeing their comrades. Reunions in the middle of a dragon-infested marsh weren't ideal, and there was still the looming threat of the acid beast in the dragon's den. They agreed to head to the nearby city of Winetha before investigating further. Sasha, conscious of her questionable history with the Spire, cloaked herself in a magical disguise, subtly altering her features. As they approached Winetha's imposing gates, they were halted and questioned by guards. But sharp wit and silver tongues meant they entered the city without parting with gold, unlike Fainlin's earlier insurance fee ordeal. Once inside, the group made their way to the Ogre's Hideout Inn, a dimly lit establishment with walls that could tell countless tales. As mugs of frothy ale were passed around, Aurora updated the trio about their search for the elusive wizard Balakard, a name whispered in dark corners as an expert on the dracolic Dragotha. Their only lead was an impending visit to Lashana, a key figure in the city's hierarchy. But Winetha was a city on edge, its streets a mix of jubilation and unease. The 25th anniversary of the Mage Prince Lacaster's rule was nearing, bringing with it grand celebrations. Yet Aurora whispered that not all was as it seemed, hinting at strange behaviors among the citizens. As Aurora retreated to recuperate, Sasha, blending effortlessly with the inn's patrons, gleaned more about the mysterious Lashana. Rumor had it she'd grace the grand feast, and in the wake of post-Civil War tensions, a few exclusive tickets were now up for grabs. The key? Earning the favor of one Armin Laratio, owner of the opulent Deluxury Inn. As the sun's rays wove a golden tapestry upon Winetha's cobbled streets, the heroes dispersed into the city, each following leads, instincts, and curiosities. Stray Dog, his senses always alert, found himself drawn to a somber building aptly named the Sinner's Sanctum. From the shadows he witnessed a heart-wrenching procession. Grief-stricken faces carried a man, his body racked with the unmistakable signs of plague, to the Sanctum's doors. For Potia, an elderly woman with wise, sad eyes, accepted the ill man with a grace that hinted at many such arrivals. Meanwhile, near the bustling main avenue, Drengr bore witness to a chilling sight. and execution. The atmosphere was thick with tension and righteous anger, as members of the notorious Ebon Triad cult were met with the stern justice of Lashana. Whispers and gasps spread among the onlookers, a mixture of relief and fear at the cult's growing influence in the city. But Winetha, with its dark underbelly, also had its unexpected surprises. Drengr's path crossed with beckons, a towering hobgoblin with muscles that looked like they had been forged in battles. Their verbal spat quickly escalated, culminating in beckons throwing down a gauntlet. Challenge issued, and with the fire of his dwarven spirit, Drengr readily accepted, only to discover he had agreed to a race instead of a fight. Morning's first light shone upon Winetha, finding our intrepid heroes at the opulent Deluxury, the city's pinnacle of luxury and allure. There they met the elusive Armhin Laratio. But charm and wit weren't enough. Laratio's standards for granting the coveted feast tickets were clear: fame and feats of valor. Lacaster's preference for renowned adventurers meant that our heroes needed to prove themselves, and an opportunity to do just that soon presented itself. As they left the Deluxury, Drengr, in a fateful collision, once again met beckons. The challenge was reiterated and the stakes were clear. Drengr's honor and reputation were on the line. But before any races could be run, there were dragons to contend with. Descending into the dragon's forsaken lair, the quartet was met with the eerie sight of corroded treasures and ominous pools. Their presence did not go unnoticed. Emerging from the depths, a swirling Acidwraith, its form shifting between shades of purple and green, confronted them. The battle was fierce, but short-lived. Stray Dog's precision strikes, paired with Drengr's divine fury channeled through his new great axe, seemed to put the creature down. But Sasha, with her arcane knowledge, recognized its regenerative capabilities. She called upon her fiery spells, turning the pools into blazing infernos, ensuring the Acidwraith's destruction. Their foray yielded not just vanquished foes, but also mysterious potions. In a bold move, each hero consumed one, finding themselves enhanced. Strength, resilience, charisma, and for Aurora, a protective layer of dragon scales that shimmered in the dim light. Emerging from the lair, they entered Winetha with 2 slain dragon heads and newly acquired treasures prominently displayed, a testament to their valor. The message was clear. They were adventurers of note, and the city should pay attention. With the adrenaline of their recent feats still in their veins, Aurora proposed a daring idea. At the heart of Winetha, the sinner's sanctum stood, a beacon for the ill and desperate. Here, she believed, she could harness the Cup of Saint Nicodemus to provide relief to the suffering. The scene was poignant. For every moan of pain, there was a gasp of relief as Aurora's divine powers and the cup worked their magic. Fopotia looked on, a glint of hope restored in her eyes. But Sasha's keen senses weren't satisfied. In the dim corners of the Sanctum, she discovered a hidden trapdoor hinting at mysteries yet unsolved. Then came the main event of the day, the anticipated footrace. Winetha's Grand Avenue was abuzz with excitement. Beckons atop a majestic dire boar and Drengr, confident in his own prowess, prepared to run unmounted. From the start, Beckons showcased exceptional riding skills, dodging obstacles and taking an early lead. Drengr, however, was a force of nature. His rage propelled him forward, shattering barriers and nearly taking a perilous detour into the sea. But in the race's final moments, the power of dwarven determination shone through. With a final, intense sprint, Drengr surged ahead, narrowly claiming victory. Beckons, in a show of sportsmanship, attempted to congratulate him, but Drengr's pride dismissed the gesture. As the day's shadows lengthened, the heroes returned to the Sanctum, curiosity drawing them to the trapdoor. Under Aurora's magical influence, Fopotia and the few remaining ill fell into a deep slumber, granting them safe passage below. Below the Sanctum, they discovered a domed chamber, its red brick walls echoing with forgotten prayers. Rotting mats adorned with the simplistic design of a black triangle lay scattered. But it was the hall to the east, and the pile of rope before it, that hinted at the next chapter of their adventure.